The gamers fighting for wins to get into playoff contention. Game number 1, Clan Blitz, is gonna be underway. Let's jump into it. Again, regular gamers really needs these wins here if they want to get closer to that 4th place. Right now, 3-6, and I think their team, it feels like they're a team that's better than their record, but we'll see right now against Lunar Tide. Salty, what weapons are you seeing that maybe surprise you here on this map?
I mean, first things first, gotta give note to that Expo run. Gotta love the Expo. Very underrated backline.
What is it about the Explosion that is so powerful, you think?
I mean, it's essentially, one, it's a swasher, right? It's a backline. So there's a lot of angles that other backlines wouldn't be able to hit, which is that the swasher is with pressure. And two, it's a burst from mainland. Like, how is that ever not good, right? Yep. When you think about it. Well, it paints a lot, it adds a lot of pressure due to its pretty big splash damage. Like, it just offers a lot of value.
Well, regular gamers are working it because they already scored to 59, a huge first advantage. I'm also seeing Ink Brush come out here, Salty. I don't know what you think about that as someone who's a higher level competitive player. Do you think the Ink Brush is ever viable? Is it ever viable?
At least the Ink Brush is actually one of the better options, especially for Clan Blitz. Okay. Very fast, very nice weapon to distract with. The only major issue with the weapon is simply that it doesn't have the best kits in the world, but honestly the main weapon is so surprisingly decent that it doesn't even matter that much.
Alright, well, 33 clams out for Lunar Tide, but they're going to have to get through rain on this Explosher. They do use their special to try to get there in range, but they all go down except for the Ink Brush, but now I believe they all do indeed died. It seemed like to me, Salty, they had a plan, they had the clams to go, but regular gamers able just to really sit back and use their range as a way to defend.
Yeah, once again, this map, you definitely need to be pushing both ways, and you need to have the specials to do it as well, since you're going to be, since your resources are going to be running a bit thin for the most part. So it's definitely one of the harder maps to push in when it comes to Clan Blitz.
Regular gamers have seemingly found a way to do it because they are pushing in clam after clam. They're looking for a KO. They don't want to give Lunar Tide a single chance here. Rain attacks, pushing up. They do go down, so Lunar Tide looks like they're able to maybe make the stop for now, but a push to 12, it seems pretty grim to me now for Lunar Tide being down by 88 points. That is a pretty big score to try to come back from.
Yeah, that was a very nice push by RG there. They were just able to overcome the man advantage really quickly, and they had a lot of clams, so they just kind of followed it up with that.
Yeah, they seem just a little bit, to me, a little more coordinated than Lunar Tide. Both teams had the option of pushing with their specials. Lunar Tides, though, used their specials, I think, a little bit early, and they got their push stopped. Meanwhile, regular gamers seemingly are able to do it time and time again, just have people roll up in the Ballers and the Ink Storms, and they're getting lots of points just off of those things, I think. Yeah, we're seeing the same thing over and over, just using their bombs, using their kind of backline weapons to get a lot of pressure, get a lot of kills, and Lunar Tide, it doesn't seem like they can touch the basket, Salty.
Yeah, it is most unfortunate here.
Yeah, Rain.
They're just not able to find the way in, let alone push back RG here. Like, it's definitely a bloodbath.
Yeah, RG using those Ballers and specials again. Leon trying to close out the game here. Can he do it? He throws one, he throws two. Regular gamers taking that first win, their much needed win. They're going to feel good about that one. 100-0 KO. Salty, that seemed to me like that was the most dominant we've seen regular gamers be all season long. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, they're just a really strong team in general. There are teams that are stronger than them in this league, in my opinion, but, in my opinion, Lunar Tide definitely isn't one of them, and that kind of was shown.
Yeah, it seemed like Lunar Tide had some potential chances to score there. They had many times where they had 2 or 3 super clams, But it seemed like to me, regular gamers, correct me if I'm wrong, were much more coordinated in their pushes. They used their baller and super jumps almost to perfection, it seemed like. Do you agree with that?
I think it's less like RG played well, and it's just like Lunar Tide's defense was pretty sloppy. Because a lot of the time that RG pushed in, it was generally because they kind of didn't really clear out the area, right? Or simply because their coordination was really sloppy, and there's only two people there to defend when the entire team of RG was there. So in a 2v4 scenario, you kind of know who's going to win. And then by the time those two die, the other two come. But then it's just like at best like a 3v2. So it's still a bad situation for Lunar Tide.
Salty, I guess Cosby likes your analytical mind so much he gifted you a sub. So thank you, Cosby.
Oh man.
Yep. Throw out those boomer Zacks in the chat for Cosby. Thank you for supporting us. But we do need to talk more about regular gamers as Cosby cheers them on. 20 seconds left to Rainmaker match number 2. It seemed to me like Lunar Tide in that first game didn't have the team comp to deal with regular gamers backline. Do you think regular gamers just uses those same kind of weapons and pushes Lunar Tide away with the Explosher?
What was that? Hold up.
Well, we're going to jump into the game, so I guess we'll just see. But I'm thinking regular gamers has that backline advantage, and I think they're going to use it well here in Rainmaker 2. We'll see if that is true. Jumping in for game number 2.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that exploit is really strong, and exploit in general as a weapon is very underrated and very strong. So I think they'll definitely do a lot if they would have pulled it out, but apparently they didn't. So that's cool.
Well, I'm quite surprised here. I'm seeing Lunar Tide on Rainmaker use that brush again. What is that about, Salty? Is that some high-level play? Big brain?
I really know, to be honest, especially when it comes to that brush. If they would have put out, like, a brush, I would have expected, like, maybe the new bow or the permanent. But, we'll have to see how this works.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
I can see the flash being nice as, like, for popping the Rainmaker and whatnot, but...
I mean, they're using it so far. They do take the Rainmaker for the first moments. Rain's going to look like to stop it as Lunar goes out by themselves. It seems like a mistake from Lunar Tide. They didn't push together at all right there, even though they grabbed the Rainmaker.
Yeah, that was a really strong position, but they just kind of got impatient and they kind of lost it, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm finally seeing a Stingray come out, though, today on Rainmaker. I'm always excited for Stingray on Rainmaker because I think it's such a powerful special to stop, and you can see Tax why it is so powerful. It's easy to stop a Rainmaker when you have a giant laser to do so.
Yeah, Stingray is a nice choice to have for Rainmaker. Yep. What type of Stingray you want? Like a front line, a back line, and frontline Stingrays were a thing. That was an error Splatoon. But yeah, no, Ray and Rainmaker, very good. So, and clearly was shown by Tax.
Well, Tax is showing how to use the Rainmaker as well, pushing up to 59. It is going to be stopped. A nice stop by Tide here on the heavy splatling. But already a push to 59. It looks like Leon's going to be able to score even more, even though the Stingray is going to stop him. So a little bit back and forth, but regular gamers definitely seem to have the advantage so far. Turn though with a double kill on the Nautilus. That's going to give them some extra pressure. Can they get the map control? That's what I'm looking for. It's interesting that Lunar Tide keeps wanting to push down this small corridor. I always prefer pushing down towards the right. It seems like a lot more open. Do you think there's a reason Lunar Tide keeps wanting to go towards this small corridor?
I genuinely have no clue. I mean, like, they're kind of tunnel visioning that corridor, and that's definitely affecting them negatively because of that. Like, right? Like, they don't really focus on map control, which is a vital thing you need, especially on a game of, like, I mean, in Splatoon in general, you want map control. And they're just kind of giving that up to try to push right, and it's just, like, kind of constantly failing.
Yeah, especially when Rain right here is using that Splattershot Jr., using the Ink Armor, getting the paint down for regular gamers. It just seems like, especially with a double kill, with a triple kill, could win the game right off of that. Rain with a great play, making it happen. Just as we take a look at him, I'm glad we did, because he popped off right there on the Splattershot Jr., taking down Lunar Tide with a KO, opening the way for Tax to get the dunk right there. Well played, Rain, with 12 splats on that splatter shot, Junior. Wowzers, Salty. I thought the Splatter Shot Junior was supposed to be a support weapon. That didn't look like a support weapon to me. That looked like he was popping off there, going for the win. Congrats to you, Rain, and to regular gamers. Salty, I think, had to mute his mic. I don't know if you're still there, but I was definitely impressed there by Rain. Also, good to see you, Coffee Break, an excellent Splatoon streamer, variety streamer. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead. But Cosby with another gifted sub. I think I'm seeing a theme here by Cosby with these gifted subs. Every time Regular Gamers wins, he's giving them the hype through subs. Thank you, Cosby. Much love to you. Much support. Thank you so much. And R1 Tendo, thank you for the follow as well. We have one more game between Regular Gamers and Lunar Tide so far. Regular Gamers are showing up more so than even Nasty Majesty did against Lunar Tide. Salty, has Regular Gamers finally figured out the formula to get these wins? Because it seems like today they are playing a super clean game.
I mean, yeah. To be fair though, there has been a lot of mistakes on Lunar Tide's part that just like RG's been able to like abuse. Like for example, like I said, like during that Rainmaker match, they had no map control like throughout, like they never had map control, and that's kind of how like RG was able to steamroll that push from like 0 to KO.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, you know, it's more of like just fatal mistakes that are costing Lunar Tide these games.
Yeah, and it seems like Rain is doing a really good job painting up for his team, using that Splatter Shot Junior and getting the slays at the same time. So I'm looking at Rain as a person, if Lunar Tide wants to win, they somehow need to answer him. They need to get their own paint down, as you're saying, Salty, and get him off the map somehow. So I don't know if they're good enough to do that, but if they want to win Splat Zone, which is a game about paint, I think they somehow need to answer Rain on their own team. So we'll see if they can do that. I don't know, but the teams are looking like they're ready to go. So we'll see if they can pull it off. RG looking to tie themselves back up at a 6-6 record. If they can get this 3-0 wipe, that would be huge for this team. We'll see if they can do it. Game number 3 is underway. All right, we got Lunar Tide here in the turquoise green color. Magenta is going to be Regular Gamers. I'm seeing Rain back out here. Actually, no, on the splatter scope, it's Tax taking the Splatter Shot Junior. And I'm seeing a Dynamo coming out from Lunar Tide as their backline. What do you think about these team comps?
Both of these comps are pretty strong on skipper drones. You know, you kind of want that range, or at the very least something that can that's very dangerous to approach, like a Dynamo. So both these comps are work really well on this map. We'll see just how far, you know, both teams are able to fit in.
Well, Regular Gamers coming out of the gate strong, already to a 55 score. The Dynamo trying to get the zone back, but Regular Gamers are getting pick after pick after pick. I think they're done losing, it seems like, Salty. They just want to close out this game as fast as they can. Look at the control there. Tied all by themselves. They are going to trade. But it looks like to me, Regular Gamers has this in the bag. Rain getting kills after kill. Maybe a stop here. But Lunar Tide struggling to stay alive. Salty, this is looking very bad for Lunar Tide.
Yeah, no, you can tell their mindsets are kind of crumbled there.
Yeah. Control is lost for a second, but that second is shortly over. And unfortunately, Lunar Tide not able to get a victory today. Regular Gamers, on the other hand, close out that third game very, very quickly. And Regular Gamers are going to get the 3-0 wipe that they needed this week. Leon taking them to victory with 5 splats. Tax and Tacky taking 4, and Rain grabbing 3 on the splatter scope. So, Salty, we see Regular Gamers dominate this match this time around. They struggled the previous week. They got swept themselves. Now sitting at a 6-6 record, do you feel a little more confident moving forward that they still have a shot at the playoffs?
No.
No. Come on, I'm trying to hype them up.
The numbers say it for themselves, you know? Like, in order to be guaranteed a spot for the playoffs, you need to reach the 50% mark. And they're well past that. Like, in terms of like, the win-loss ratio. You know, they've lost over 50% of their games. Like, it's not really possible.
No, they are 6-6 now, so they are 50-50.
Oh, wait, you're talking about RG?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Not Lunar Tide, no.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear you, bruh. Okay. Oh, RG, the chance is there. Honestly. 6-6 isn't bad of a sport.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what other games they have for the next.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that on the cooldown desk, but it seems like
they have 4 sets left, so I'm not sure what else they have.
Yeah,
left.
It seems like Regular Gamers is stepping up, though. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Just 6 more games, and it's like they're in, you know. So
yeah,
there's still 3 spots up for grabs.
Right.
It's not impossible.
Yeah, and I think after today, they got to be feeling a lot better. It's hard when you're staring down a 3-6 record. That seems pretty monumental to try to overcome. But now that they swept Lunar Tide, they can feel pretty good going to next week 6-6, knowing, hey, if we just keep winning, we have a really good chance at playoffs. It's going to be a difficult road, though, as there's still really good teams like Mirage, Translucence, Bittersweet that they got to pass up. But it is definitely possible. And thank you so much for Cosby for another sub. 3 subs for 3 regular game wins. Thank you guys so much. Cosby, you're amazing. Much love to you, my dude. You are awesome. Throw in some emotes in the chat for this man right here, supporting regular gamers, supporting Splatoon 2 Esports, as well as Cute Devil Marine for the follows. Thank you guys as well. Regular gamers, congrats to you guys. Lunar Tide, you were not able to get a win this week, but you seemingly are making some improvements, so good job to you guys there. We'll see if you guys can pick up a win next week. Right now, we're going to take a few minute break before our last matchup of the day, which is our hype matchup of the day. Translucence facing off Mirage, both tied for 3rd place. We'll see who can get those victories against one another right after this